King Arthur is a legendary British leader who, according to medieval histories and romances, led the defense of Britain against Saxon invaders in the late 5th and early 6th centuries. He's famous for his Knights of the Round Table, magical sword Excalibur, and quests for justice and chivalry. The stories about Arthur have been retold and adapted in many ways, making him a timeless figure in literature and popular culture. The historicity of King Arthur remains a topic of debate among scholars. While some argue that he might have been a real Romano-British leader who fought against the Anglo-Saxons, others consider him a mythical figure. The Historia Brittonum and Annals Cambriae are key texts that provide some historical context, but their reliability is questioned by many researchers. The archaeological evidence suggesting a reversal of Anglo-Saxon migration around the 6th century is intriguing, and some connect this to the Battle of Badon Hill, attributed to Arthur. However, the lack of concrete evidence and the presence of mythological elements in Arthurian narratives make it challenging to separate fact from fiction. The discovery of a grave claimed to be Arthur's by the monks of Glastonbury in 1180 adds to the complexity, potentially reflecting a mix of historical and literary influences. The legend of King Arthur's immortality and potential return has evolved over time, reflecting the complex interplay between folklore, literature, and Christian influences. The idea that Arthur's grave is unknown or that he's waiting to return has captivated audiences, often symbolizing hope for justice and renewal. The discovery of Arthur's alleged tomb in 1191 at Glastonbury Abbey likely aimed to address the theological and political tensions surrounding the legend. By providing a physical grave, it undermined the belief in Arthur's return, shifting the narrative towards more folkloric and mythical interpretations. The persistence of stories about Arthur sleeping in remote locations or roaming as a specter highlights the enduring power of his legend. These tales often tap into themes of longing, justice, and the cyclical nature of time. The evolution of King Arthur's character across different literary traditions is fascinating. In early Welsh tales like Culhwch and Olwen, he's depicted as a powerful leader, chief of the lords of Britain. However, in later continental romances, his role shifts, and he becomes more of a wise but passive figure, often overshadowed by other characters like Lancelot and Guinevere. This transformation reflects the changing cultural and literary contexts in which the Arthurian legends were retold and reinterpreted. The Roi Fainéant or Do-Nothing King portrayal of Arthur in these romances highlights the complexities of his character and the tensions between his personal weaknesses and his enduring prestige. The influence of Geoffrey of Monmouth's Historia Regum Britanniae and other works helped spread Arthurian stories across Europe, leading to a rich and diverse array of adaptations and interpretations. What do you think about the changes in Arthur's character over time? Do you have a favorite adaptation or interpretation of the Arthurian legend? The 19th century revival of interest in King Arthur and medieval romances had a profound impact on literature and art. The Romantic movement and Gothic revival sparked a new wave of creative works inspired by Arthurian legends. Poets like Alfred Tennyson and William Morris, and artists like Edward Burne-Jones, drew upon these stories to explore themes of chivalry, idealism, and human weakness. Tennyson's Idylls of the King was particularly influential, reimagining Arthur as a symbol of ideal manhood who ultimately fails due to human frailty. This work not only popularized Arthurian legends but also shaped the Victorian era's perception of chivalry and heroism. The revival's impact extended beyond Britain, influencing American literature, such as Mark Twain's A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. The Arthurian romance tradition continued to evolve, with some works focusing on Arthur himself, while others marginalized or omitted him altogether. The World War I's devastating effects on the notion of chivalry and heroism led to a decline in the popularity of Arthurian legends, but they continued to inspire artists and writers. The Romance tradition remained a powerful force, influencing notable works like T.S. Eliot's The Waste Land, which alludes to the Fisher King and the Arthurian mythos. The modern era has seen a diverse range of adaptations and reinterpretations of the King Arthur legend, reflecting changing societal values and cultural contexts. Novels like T.H. White's The Once and Future King and Mary Stuart's The Crystal Caves series have reimagined Arthurian stories, often with a focus on characters like Merlin or feminist perspectives. The Romance tradition has also been influential in film and theater, with adaptations like Camelot and Excalibur drawing on medieval themes. Meanwhile, attempts to portray Arthur as a historical figure have gained traction, particularly in the mid-20th century, reflecting a desire to connect the legend to real-world events and themes. Arthur's legacy extends beyond literature and art, with his name and ideals being used to promote values like chivalry and community. The persistence of Arthurian themes in modern culture, from youth groups to place names, testifies to the enduring power of the legend. King Arthur's death is a pivotal part of the legend, with various accounts across different texts. In many versions, Arthur is mortally wounded in battle with his illegitimate son/nephew Mordred, often at Camelot. After being fatally wounded, Arthur is taken to Avalon, an island paradise, where he is healed or laid to rest. Some accounts suggest Arthur will return from Avalon when Britain needs him most, fueling the legend of his immortality. The details of his death and afterlife vary across adaptations, but the themes of heroism, betrayal, and the supernatural are common.